Hey, Bonavista Vista Baptist kids and friends checking in for this Sunday. It's Kira, Pastor Scott, and our good friend Steve the plant, who's actually growing, so it's very exciting. Well, the story we have in the Bible today actually reminds me of the time that your mom and I got married.
That was a long time ago.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, it was about 26 years. Long for some people, I guess. Well, we had a fairly traditional church wedding. And at our wedding, we had a lot of guests. And so what we did during the reception, when we served the food, is we had all of our guests seated at special tables in the gym, and we packed it out. But we reserved one special section, which we called the head table, or the table of honor. And that was reserved for the bride and the groom and the wedding party. And so once all the guests were seated, then the bride and the groom and the wedding party came into the gym, and everybody stood up and they cheered and clapped. And then the bride and the groom and the wedding party took their special seats of honor at the head table. Now, imagine with me for a moment that one of our guests at the wedding came in and had a look around the room and decided, you know what? I'm better than everyone else in this room. I'm pretty sure I'm faster than that guy over there. I know that I'm smarter than that person over there. I know way more Bible verses than that person at the back. And I have way more hair than most of these people, including the groom. So can you imagine if that guy looked around and thought, I'm better than all these people in this room. And so I'm going to sit at the table of honor at the head table, not with the rest of the guests. Can you imagine what would happen if the bride and the groom came into the room at that moment? That poor guy who sat at the table of honor when he wasn't supposed to would have to get up and move and probably get the last seat at the back of the gym. He would go from having a big head to being completely deflated. Well, the story today Jesus tells to a group of people gathered for a meal at a Pharisee's house. And there's a really key verse in that story, and Kira's going to read it for us right now.
This is Luke chapter 14, verse 11. If you walk around with your nose in the air, you're going to end up flat on your face. But if you're content to be simply yourself, you will become more than yourself.
So this is a really important lesson. And I want to encourage you to go and read the entire story with your parents or with an adult you trust. Where can they find the story, Kira?
Luke chapter 14, verses 1 to 14.
And after you read that story together, ask your parents or an adult you trust, what did they learn from the story today? And then you can download the activity sheets and fill them out. Well, thanks for joining us today. It's Kira and Steve and Pastor Scott saying, see you next week.